Well, good evening, dear friends, dear viewers. In today's video, we will continue analyzing and covering Armenian National Championship, Men's Championship, and Women's Championship. Also, memorial of Andranik Margaryan, GM and IM Norm tournaments. Let's go. Of course, we will start with the Men's Championship. And uh, our first game, Artur Davtyan won with the white pieces against Sargis Sargisyan. Yesterday I said that definitely Artur is the favorite of this game, but it's not going to be easy because Sargis got chances against Zaven Andreasyan and most likely get chances against all other participants. And here we can see that he was well prepared and like up to 15th, 17th move, he was ready. But then he made some crucial mistake after which it was simply impossible to come back. So we do have theoretical line in Slav defense, and especially with e3, queen c2, bishop d3, d takes c. Another move is to go e5. White is usually taking c takes d4. Yes, d takes c, bishop c4, a6 is also possible line. D takes c, bishop c4, e5 is possible. Yes, this b5, bishop e2. Another move is bishop d3 to play. Yes. If I'm not mistaken here, bishop d3, bishop b7, a3, rook c8, b4, a5, rook b1, a takes b, and c5 move is quite strong. Let's see. Yes. This, bishop b7, a3, you go this. Yes, rook d1, c5, knight g5, c5, Levon Aronian against Vishy Anand, or Wesley So against Sam Sevian, and here a5 and a takes b and c5 equalizes quite easily. I remember back in 2015 I had my game against the black pieces against Etienne Bacro, and here I played direct c5 and Etienne took. I played bishop f3, c takes d, knight d5, g takes f, and maybe even we can try to find the game. Yes, Bacro Terza again. I lost the game. It was European Individual Chess Championship. Anyway, Artur went bishop e2, bishop b7, e4, e5, d takes c, knight e5, knight d4, knight g4, g3. Yes, bishop g3, if I'm not mistaken, considered slightly unpleasant because of this h takes g, queen d4, queen d1, and queen d1, rook takes d1. This endgame is slightly better for white. Let's just check it. For example, if you take h takes g and queen d1, yes. Bishop c5, knight f5. Alexei Shirov plays this line a lot. He has many games. Rook e8, bishop f4, and here I remember maybe about 7-10 years ago, I played one rapid game against Aram Hakopian, and our game continued like this: b4, e5, b takes c, e takes f, queen takes f6, and if I'm not mistaken, here Aram went maybe even g4. I lost that rapid game, but later on I came prepared against uh, Indian grandmaster, and I drew. I equalized very easily. So queen b6. Let's see, can we find the game or not? Yes. Gagare Intersakyan, it was Abu Dhabi Masters. That year I was playing quite well in Abu Dhabi. So bishop g4, knight g4, queen e2, and here the best move is to go knight f6. I'm not sure. What was it? No, it was not. So knight f6, and here knight e5. First inaccuracy. And I just want to show you that black is still having 1 hour 27 minutes. And Sargsyan only spent a few minutes. Bishop takes e5, rook e5, queen g4, g6, queen f4, f6, knight h6, king g7, knight g4. All these are forced. Rook a d1. Somehow computer likes more rook fd1. But here, of course, after rook d8, maybe black is having some small uh, problems. Of course, after rook d8, anyway, white is the better side, but it's not lost for black. And again, we see that only Sargis spent 4 minutes, and when rook f8, after which evaluation is more than plus 3. So just rook d7. Hard to say what exactly he blundered, because if you go rook f7, queen h6, and then rook takes f7, bishop e7, queen h6, and now e5. Yes, if f5, then knight f6 ideas are finishing the game, and now knight e4, now knight g5, and knight f6 ideas are very unpleasant. For example, if you go bishop c8, then knight f6, takes, and then takes, and then check, and queen takes c8. Rook f7 was played, and here rook e7 was winning. Arthur preferred this queen h3 with the ideas to go knight h6, f7 is hanging, e6 is hanging, and now knight h6 just takes and takes. King e7, knight g8 is coming. Nice win by Arthur Davtyan. Of course, from the opening, Sargsyan was well prepared, and I noticed that for the first round he also was well prepared, but somehow later on he rushes, or of course first 2 rounds he had black pieces. Maybe this also played some role. He was under pressure. Yes, let's see in upcoming rounds, can he show best qualities of his play, because he won quite convincingly Armenian first league. And then we do have other games ended in a draw. Not much was really happening in Hovik Karapetyan, Manuel Petrosyan was yes, c5 is possible, knight bd7, bishop e2, d takes c, short castle c5, d takes c, knight c5. Yes. And here players agreed in a draw. Yes, we do have very interesting and complicated game in Gregorian Caribbean game, and we see that Karen surprised his opponent. He took a lot of risks, but somehow almost it worked. He takes d, queen d4, knight c6, and here we know queen e3 move, which Jan Nepomniachtchi plays quite actively, especially in online chess. But here we do see queen c4, something very, very rare. Knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4, bishop d2, short castle, long castle, rook e8. Very healthy moves by Mamikon Haribian, and seems like Karen Grigoryan is aware of these moves. D6 and queen e2. And already computer shows that black is almost much better. Slightly better, I would say. D5, A3. And Karen Grigoryan knows this position, A5, and here some knight H3 move. And already we see that even Mamikon Haribian most likely knew it because he spent only a few minutes. Bishop takes h3, and on bishop takes h3 move, Mamikon spent about 30 minutes. Bishop d7 would have been slightly more precise, and queen c8, queen g2, d takes c, f takes c, queen e6, king b1, bishop takes c3, bishop c3. Maybe Mamikon could play queen e4, bishop f6, queen g2, bishop g2, g takes f, rook d7. White is of course slightly better. Knight e5, bishop b5. Computer doesn't like much this move, likes more bishop d3. So bishop b5, c6, bishop a4, and knight g6, quite good move. And yes, if e5, then knight d5 comes, bishop b3, queen e4, and here computer says queen f2, queen e3, queen f1, or queen f5. So queen g3, a4, bishop a2, and Karen Grigoryan has 54 minutes, and Mamikon Haribian has only 11 minutes. But black doesn't have any problems. Queen c7, queen e7, and black is already much better. Queen b6, knight f4. Here bishop b4 would have been the best. Bishop f6, g takes f, h4, rook d1, rook d1, f5. Yes, h5 would have been the best. And queen a7 maybe. White is slightly better. And Mamikon already has only 1 minute. But black is slightly better. And here players agreed in a draw after queen a5, knight e6, queen b4. Move repetition. Of course, Mamikon had a slightly better preferable position, but didn't have any time. And of course, Karen had time advantage, but didn't have good position and didn't see anything, and decided to make. We do have another game between Tigran Harutyunyan and Benika Gasarov. Tigran goes for London. And here we see bishop g4, c3, e6. Recently, I played this bishop g4, e6 against Tadic. And if I'm not mistaken, here he played something like h3, bishop h5. But I don't exactly remember. But it was queen b3 at some point. So queen b3, queen c8, h3, Yes, I think I played bishop h5. Bishop takes f3, knight takes f3, bishop e7, bishop e2, short castle, short castle. Most likely Tigran got slightly preferable position, a6, and d takes c, bishop c5, rook c1, with the idea is to push c4, and c4, d4, it takes d, bishop takes d4, maybe knight d4, knight d4, queen e3, knight e2, queen e2, rook d1, rook e1, rook d8, bishop f1, bishop c5, a3, knight d4, knight takes, bishop d4. Yeah, still white is slightly better, b4, a5, c5. Computer doesn't like this c5, prefers more queen b3, queen c6, queen a4, knight d5. Yes, white anyway remains slightly better. Yes, and here players agreed in a draw. Yes, it is obvious that Tigran Harutyunyan was the favorite of this game, but and he was throughout the game slightly better, but couldn't get anything more than that, and game ended in a draw. Yes, I said that it's not going to be easy for Tigran to win this game. Yes, I was probably a little bit wrong in my uh, predictions with Laftian Sargsyan game. Uh, Actually, Sargsyan easily got decent position. Just maybe he rushed with 95, and later on he really played badly with this rook, allowing rook d7 when he went rook f8, and the only move was to play rook d8. And we do have our final game of the round. We do have Roberto Vanisian facing Zaven Andresian. I remember maybe about 5, 7, 10 years back, same players were fighting and playing the same opening and the same line. Najdorf with bishop g5. I have seen few games of them in this line. And we do have Najdorf, we do have bishop g5 line, we do have f4 queen b6, and here Zaven usually he doesn't take on b2, especially against Roberto Vanisian. He kind of likes avoiding theoretical battle, just getting some uh, complicated, maybe even slightly unpleasant, but complicated position. And we can easily say that Robert got a pleasant position, threatening bishop h5, h4, yes, knight a5, rook c8, knight c4, takes, g3. Robert is better, and rook on c4 is under attack. I don't think white is really threatening queen c4, queen e3. So I'm not sure about this rook hc8 because it simply means that you are leaving your h5 pawn. You are ready to leave it. And here, as we can see, computer likes going rook h8, rook d6, bishop d6, queen c4, bishop e8, getting some counterplay, but definitely Zaven had in mind creating a mess on board with d5. Here queen h5 would have been the best, and we see that Zavan has only 30 minutes, Robert has uh, more than 1 hour, and computer evaluates +3. He takes d, bishop b4, queen h5, e5, and now d6 was the best move, because if you take f takes c, bishop g4 ideas are coming. Yes. For some reason, uh, Robert didn't play d6 and bishop f5, and now position is quite complicated. F takes c, bishop takes c3, and now f takes c, and king b2 would have been the best after queen e7. Robert offered the draw, which was accepted by Zaven Andresian, and we do see already minus 0.6 for Zaven. Better position. It is complicated, I would say, but definitely better for Zaven. Yes, Robert got better position, close to winning position, but somehow didn't work, and game ended in a draw. We say about yes. So the tournament standings after 2 rounds are the following: Roberto Vanessian, Mamikon Gharibian, Zaven Andresian, and Artur Davtyan are having 1.5 points out of 2. We do have 3 players with 50% of points, 1 point out of 2. Tigran Harutyunyan, Karen Grigoryan, Venik Agasarov. We do have Manuel Pedrosian and Hovik Karapetyan. Each of them lost one game and drew the other. And we do have Sargisian. Tournament doesn't go well for him, unfortunately. But let's not forget that he had 2 black pieces in the starting 2 rounds. And also, let's see the pairings for third round. We have Agasarov Davtyan, Gharibian Harutyunyan, Petrosyan Grigoryan, Andreasyan Harapetyan, Sargisian Hovanesyan. Yes, some interesting rounds. Uh, yes, really hard to say. It is even hard to say who is the. Of course, Artur Davtyan is the favorite of the game, but it's not going to be easy at all. Yes, I think it's quite difficult to say. And also Mamikon Gharibian against Tigran Harutyunyan. I would I would say that Mamikon has all the chances to maybe try to pose some problems against Tigran, but of course uh, for both players it's not easy. Manuel Petrosyan against Karen Grigoryan. Yes, again another hard uh, game. I think Zaven Andresian is maybe favorite against Hovik Hairapetyan, but you never know what to expect from Hovik Hairapetyan. Yes. I would most likely say that Denik Agasarov is not going to lose tomorrow. I would say Mamikon Gharibian is going to win, most likely. Manuel Pedrosian against Karen Grigoryan, most likely game will end in a draw. Zaven Andresian against Hovik Hairapetyan. I would say Zaven Andresian. And we do have Sargisian against Roberto Vanessian. Most likely Robert is the no doubt Robert is the favorite of this game. Definitely with the white pieces, Sargis will try to play a little bit safer. but he also wants to score some points. Maybe this can be used by Roberto Vanician to get his chances. Okay, let's see what are we having in women's championship. We do have Varta Rapetian drew against Milena Gasparian. Anna Khachaturian won against Palina Kobak. We do have Lilia Danielian won against Mariam Khachaturian. Melina Harutyunyan lost against Susanna Rakelian. And Mariam Avetisyan drew against Susanna Gaboyan. Let's check this game. Yes, some other moves are also possible. And yes, this is Catalan with yes, if just d takes c, then we are having Catalan. Yes, probably you can hear the noise. Yes, people are driving in Singapore in a very high uh, speed. Okay, d takes c is the main. D Yes, knight d4 is possible. C takes d, e takes d, knight d4, bishop e7, knight c3, short castle, and we got some Tarash, probably better version for white. Usually you do get Tarash with a knight on f3, bishop on c5, or let's say pawn on c5, pawn on d4, knight on f3. It's b3, not the best move. h3, bishop b2, king h2, e3, queen d4, rook a d1, g4, and now some knight g4. H takes g, bishop f6, and then queen c7. But white anyway has everything under control. Bishop c5. Computer doesn't like this move. Knight e2. Just knight e2 with the ideas maybe to play knight f4. Takes, bishop b8, f4, takes, rook c2. Bishop b4, rook takes a2. Yes, black doesn't have any problems. Black is maybe even trying to get something. And rook b4, not the best. And this is already very unpleasant. Instead of f takes g, rook b5 would have been the best. And this is lost. This is lost for black, for Susanna Gaboya. Yes, king f3 would have been the best. g6 doesn't spoil anything. And here rook f1, bishop d4, and white is completely winning. Just king g4 with the ideas to go king h5. Of course, rook g5 doesn't spoil anything. And here rook g6, king e4 was played. King e7 was the best with the ideas to go king f7. And this is completely lost, +4. Yes, completely lost. Great move. Wow, wow. Mariam Avetisyan played very good chess, and this shouldn't be hard, I guess. Rook h5. Wow. Game ended in a draw. But wait. Uh, let's say, why am I not trying something like this? Yes, a3, rook takes b7, b5. And let's say why I'm not playing this. Maybe king d5. And now I should play king e7. Anyway, it was winning for white, completely winning. But game ended in a draw. Yeah, should we check the other game? Was it? Uh, okay, let's check briefly. This is known. This is known. Yes, usually you go knight g6. Yes, a6, bishop f1, d5, or here you do have d4. This. Yes, c3, bishop e7, d4, c takes d, c takes d, d5. This takes, this, knight c3. Maybe computer likes more c4. Yes, knight d4, queen d4, bishop d6, bishop e7 was played. Knight f5, knight takes e7, a4, bishop e3, a5, queen d2, bishop b6, knight d5, rook a3, c5 was working. Yes, maybe she didn't like d takes c, but d takes c probably d6 is coming or what? Just bishop takes c5. And if rook takes d5, you just go some queen move, queen e2, h5 and d7 are hanging. But white plays very good. Bishop h3. Wow. Wait, only 35 seconds on clock. Anna Khachaturian goes wrong. Rook g4 was finishing the game. I guess after h takes g, some f6 is coming. Yes. And now just rook takes c4. Polina Kobak goes 95. And now just queen h3 takes. And now after time increment. Wow. Oh, very nice game. Very nice game, I should say. And let's see the standings after 2 rounds in women's championship. We do have Lilia Danielian, Anna Khachaturian, 2 points out of 2. And then we do have Susanna Gaboyan, Milena Gaspari, points out of 2. 3 players are having 50% of points. Mariam Avetisian, Varta Rapetian, Susanna Rakelian. And we do have 3 players, Mariam Khachaturian, Palina Kobak, and Meline Harutunian. Tournament didn't start well for them, and they didn't score points yet. And of course, we continue following Andranik Margaryan Memorial, and today we do have very quick draw in Nozdrachev Babujian game. I assume by this draw, Nozdrachev was securing his GM title, because I don't think by this draw he was securing first place or any other, maybe second place or first two places. But of course, Arsene Daftian is having 1 point less than Nozdrachev does have, but most likely he was securing his GM norm. That's why we do have very quick draw, and we do have another quick draw in Sahagian Hakop. Yes, this is interesting. Yes, this is. Yes, nice prep by Hakopian, and most likely players uh, didn't want to compete, to play each other. Let's not criticize them. And we do have some interesting games. We do have Pranet Vupala against Arad Nazar and takes, and this bishop b7. Yes, this is well-known line, and especially the c5 move. Instead of course, queen d6 idea doesn't work because of c4. Another move is to go c4, the old theoretical line, queen d4, and later on white is trading d6 pawn with the c4, and white remains slightly better. I remember MVL against Kovalenko game. Knight f4. Yes, this is well known. Queen d6. Yes, if you go rook a1, g6 comes. We see that Arad Nazari was blitzing out, and this was the first position that Pranet Vupala didn't know, or he took some time. Definitely he knew, but he took some time. And takes, rook a d1, rook e6, g6, bishop e4, rook b6, maybe rook d1, rook d1, rook b8, b3. Yes, slightly unpleasant endgame. And Pranet Vupala wants to continue the game, because in a different ways he could repeat the position. Yes, computer doesn't like much this a4. Yes, a very good game. White had some small pressure, but Black managed to neutralize it. We do have Musavi against Eric Gasparian. And yes, here I know that bishop e7 is possible move to play. a5, g5, queen e2. Yes, knight g8, interesting move. Maybe a4 or bishop d7, knight g8. Hard to say, black is threatening f5 or knight e7. Seems slightly better for white. Let's see. Yes, he spent a lot of time. Eric Gasparian spent a lot of time on knight g8 move. And rook b8 threatening b5, a4, bishop d7, f4, and knight b3. Computer doesn't like it. Likes more knight h f1. Bishop a7, knight f1. Queen e8 would have been better. E takes f, bishop f4, knight e5, and knight g5, knight g3 would have been the best move. Knight d4, bishop d4, c takes d, knight c4, d takes c, bishop takes a4, rook d3. Black is slightly better. Bishop e8, knight g3, bishop g6, stopping knight f5 ideas. Of course, white does have some compensation. It's not enough, maybe. Bishop d2, b5 was working. Game b5 was working. Black is much better already. Knight f6, bishop e5, queen d6. And here players agreed in a draw. Maybe white had some slight advantage out of the opening, but later on Musavi didn't play well and was in huge trouble. In the end, managed to save the game. And we do have another game, Robert Piliposyan, Arsene Davtyan. We do have this, and it is very interesting that Arsene Davtyan takes on c4 and plays b5 against Robert Piliposyan. Such a sharp line. Maybe for the GM norm, he uh, needs he needed a win. Yes, takes this bishop e3, bishop b7, bishop e2, knight c6, knight c3, queen d7, short castle, bishop e7, a3, knight a5, queen c2, queen c6. Yes, seems like black player Arsene Davtyan mixed up or didn't find or went wrong and got unpleasant position. And here d5 was working already. And knight e1. e1 would have been the best. d5 was played. d5 at this point, at this moment, doesn't really work. It takes d, queen f5, and here just king b8. And what if I'm taking the pawn? You just play some queen e8 and you are better. Yes, queen e6 was played. Queen takes, pawn takes, knight d4, and c5, knight d6, b4, knight takes d8, rook takes d8, knight b5 would have been the best. Bishop g4, king b8, bishop b2, even knight b3 is possible. Yes, maybe rook d1, knight b3. And again, round equal position. Some small inaccuracies around equal position. Hard to say who is really playing. Seems like black. Here players agreed in a draw. I think Arsene went wrong in the opening and white could play d5, but Robert delayed for one move, and already at that time d5 was not really that strong. And going king b8, allowing queen f7, and then queen e8, black would have keep decent chances for advantage. But I'm sure that Arsene saw this queen e6, takes, knight d4, c5, knight d6, d4, and already after trading the rook and few pawns with the two minor pieces, position remained imbalanced, quite complicated, and but always around equality. Yes, let's see the standings. Seems like eventually we are have no, we are of course not having them. Yes, somehow arbiters are sleeping because the round probably ended uh, more than 1 hour ago, but still we don't have. So Vladislav Nozdrachev 7 points, Arsen Davtyan 6 points, Arad Nazari 5 points, Robert Piliposyan 4.5, Erika Kopyan 4.5, Musavi 3.5, Alex Saakyan 3.5, Pranet Vupala 2.5, Eric Gasparian 2, and Levon Babujan 1.5. So simply today we didn't have any results in GM Norm tournament. Let's move to I think I closed it. Let's see what is Norm tournament. Of course, we should check this game, no doubts, and I think this simply decides the winner of IM Norm tournament. Unfortunately, Rudolf Pashikian lost against Vaes Tukasian, but the way Vahe played yesterday against Bagaturov, I think he deserves not to win this tournament, not only to win this tournament, also to just get his IM title, Norm, and even maybe really to fight for GM uh, Norm to get his spot for the GM Norm tournament. C4 E6, let's see. Yes, usually, at least I remember Lothier Vaganyan game 92, 97. I very much recommend this game. Here, knight g3 would have been probably stronger. F3, bishop g3, and here, legendary Rafael Vaganyan played knight h6 with the idea to go knight f5, bishop f2, bishop d6. Lothier played g4, stopping knight f5, and another amazing move, f5, h3, short castle, bishop g2, and not really taking f takes g, queen e7, and after short castle, only now f takes g, and now if you take f takes g, rook e8 comes, black is slightly better, h takes g, rook e8, queen d2, queen g5, rook e1, and here rook takes f3. Bishop takes f3, knight g4, if bishop g4, queen g4, king h1, queen h3, if you go bishop g3, bishop takes g3, knight takes g3, queen g3, queen g2, now rook e3, or queen g2, king g2, knight f6, black is slightly better. That's why maybe Lothier wanted to go this, but no doubts he blundered here at this bishop h5 move. Because bishop g3, knight g3, queen g3, rook e3, knight f1, queen g5, bishop h5. Amazing move. Bishop d6, bishop f3. Bishop f3, rook f3, bishop, queen h5 is a huge threat. Takes, takes, king g1, queen h3, threatening queen g2, bishop takes g3, takes, king h1, there is rook e6, knight g2, king f7, and knight e3, and knight f6. Here, Lothier resigned. So knight f3, knight e7, h3, bishop e2, slow play, rook e8. Yes, somehow I don't like this bishop f6 move, but computer likes it. Somehow bishop on f6 does look a little bit ugly. e4, at a4. Yes, black had some a5, b5, c5, or b5, knight c5, knight c5. Knight c4, knight e4, bishop e4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4. And we are having a round equal position. Rudolf does have a little bit less time compared to Vahe. For example, queen e4, rook e4, a4. So a4 takes, and now a5. Some small problems are there. Knight d2, a takes b, knight c4, b3. And now already some huge problems are there. And b5. Rook, yes, rook a4, b takes a, because here bishop d6 is there, and white saves the game. Wow, bishop d4, nice tactical shot. Yes, nice win. Of course, Rudolf Pashikian helped, but without opponent's help, we cannot win. Yes, we do see that Hovakimian won against Karmanova, Bagaturov, Zakarian. I think this game ended very short. Manuel Arakelian won against Volodya Terosyan, and Andrei Okarov won against Vladimir Shahinian. And let's see the standings. Yes, this simply means that Vahe Sukyasyan 6 points out of 8, Rudolf Pashikian 5 points out of 8, David Zakarian drew, so he's 4.5. Mavel Arakelian won and he's 4.5 points out of 8. Karmanova lost, Okara won 4.5 points, Georgi Bagaturov drew, Vladimir Shahinian lost, Vacheo Vakimian won, and Volodya Terosyan lost, if I am not. Vladimir Shahinian lost, Volodya Terosyan lost. So simply we are having 6 points, 5 points, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, Okara 4.5, Karmanova 3.5, Bagaturov 4, Shahinian 2.5, Vakimian 3.5. Yes. Tomorrow we do have last round, and Karmanova Okara, Sukyasyan Hovakimian, Zakarian Pashikian, Torosian Bagaturov, Shahinian Arakelian. And also let's see the final round for pairings for the final round. Tavtian Pranet, Hakopian Piliposian, Gasparian Sahakian, Babujian Musavi, Nazari Nozdruchev. And tomorrow round starts 11 a.m. Yerevan time, Armenia time. Yes, thank you very much, dear friends, dear viewers. I very much liked this tournament, and tomorrow we will be having cover of recap for the last rounds, and we will have the final standings. And please leave your messages, leave your comments, or whatever you like. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It will take only a couple of seconds. Thank you very much.